Hello friends, welcome to our channel Study Friends. In this video we'll discuss a very important poem by Robert Frost, and the name of the poem is Two Tramp in Mud Time. So let's begin. Two Tramp in Mud Time. Out of the mud two strangers came and caught me splitting wood in the yard, and one of them put me off my aim. Two strangers appear in front of the poet, and he was splitting wood in his yard, and one of them put me off my aim, and one of them, the poet aim was not right, got distracted, and he did not hit his target by hailing cheerily, hit them hard. And the stranger said to him, hit them hard. I knew pretty well what he had dropped behind and let the other go on a way, and I knew pretty well what he had in mind. He wanted to take my job for pay. So the poet, he was just splitting woods, and he was enjoying what he was doing. But the two tramps who have no home of their own, and then they work for their living, and they come to the poet, and who was splitting wood in his yard, and one of them wanted to take his job. He wanted to cut the wood himself for a pay. So that's it. Next is a good block of oak. I split as large around as the chopping block, and every piece I squarely hit fell splinterless as a cloven rock. That blow, that a life of self-control, spare to strike for the common good, and that day giving a loose of my soul I spent on an unimportant work. Unimportant wood, like the work he was doing is not important, but the work, by doing this, he was losing his soul by giving a loose to my soul. He was not losing his soul, he was like losing. Good bloke, he was very good in this splitting woods, and he was doing it very nicely, and he was chopping the block which were very neat and round inside, and every piece he was chopping, he was that were squarely hit, yani squarely. So the sun was warm, but the wind was chilly. And you know how it is with an April day when the sun is out and the wind is still. You are 1 month on the middle of May. But if you so much as dare to speak, a cloud come over the sunset arch, a wind come up a frozen peak, as you are 2 months back on a middle of March. So in these lines, he tell about the month of March, April, and May, and he tell that before 2 months back, like in March month, it is full of winter, and the wind which come from a frozen peak, they are very cold, and after the March month, it came April, and it was that time of April when the sun was warm, the sun which was very warm, and the wind was chilly. It was still a little bit chilled, and after that April came the month of May in its raining time, and if you speak a little bit, and if he say, but if you so much as dare to speak, a cloud come over the sunlit arc. He is trying to say that in May month, it's a rainy season. So he describe about the weather situation, that the weather was very nice. Next is a bluebird come tenderly up to a light and turn to the wind to unruffle a plum. His song so pitched as not to excite a single flower as yet to bloom. It is snowing a flake, and his half new winter has only playing possum, except in color isn't blue. So it's a little bit winter time, and a single flower is yet to bloom. It's not yet springtime, Here the plum word is used for a feather of a bird, and he's talking about that bird who is singing in a high pitched voice and is not that much high as to not to excite. So he's describing about that it is still the winter time and the summer time is not yet come, but he would not advise a thing to blossom. The water for which we may have to look in summertime with a withering wand in every wall hut, now a brook in every print of a hoop, a pond. Be glad of water, but don't forget the lurking frost in the earth beneath that will steal forth, and after the sun is set, the sow on the water its crystal uh, teeth. So he tell about the nature that the water is good and it is also bad. He tell that the water he is also good, but be glad of water, but don't forget. He's saying like that, be glad of water. You should be glad of the water because it gives lives to the tree and people drink water. But don't forget the lurking frost in the earth. But during winter time, the in the frost the water is frozen, and so as on water its crystal teeth. So is his crystal teeth. So he is also telling us the positive aspect of the nature and also the negative effect of the nature. So he is saying that nature also give life, but also it take lives also. The time when most I loved my task, the two must make me love it more by coming with what they came to ask. You think I never had felt before? The weight of an axe held poised aloft, the grip of hands and outspread feet, the life of muscle on rocking spot and smooth and moist in vernal heat. So the poet was loving what he was doing. He was chopping his wood, but the two tramps who came to him and disturbed him and asked him for work, like he should not do this work and let one of them to do that work out of. So the poet got very angry at one of them who asked him, out of the wood, two lurking tramp from sleeping got nowhere last night. He is describing about that tramps who don't know where they will sleep next or where they sleep the last night because they have no homes of their own. They thought all chopping was there to right, there of right. Men of hoods and lumberjacks, they judged me by their appropriate tool, except as a fellow handled an axe. They had no way of knowing a fool. So he's describing about the tramps that they think that it's their right to chop the wood and to do that kind of work, and the poet which was doing his own work by chopping the woods, they so he's angry on them for disturbing him. Next is, nothing on either side was said. They knew they had but to stay, and all their logic would fill my head as that I had no right to play. With that was another man work for gain, my right might be love, but there was need, and where the two stand in twain, there was better right agreed. So they were saying like the two tramps were saying that it was their need. They needed this work to feed themselves, but the poet was doing this work to lose his temper and to lose all the hate inside him. He was loving that kind of that work, and he was enjoying it very much. But yield who will to their separation. My object is in living is to unite my avocation and my vocation, as my two eyes make one insight. Only where love and need are one, and the work is play for mortal stake. Is their deed ever really done for heaven and future sake? So he was saying like this was their need, and the work he was doing it is out of love, and he was loving the work which he was doing. So he is thinking about who has the better claim of this work. So he is thinking like he has a better claim. So it's the tug of war between the poet and the tramps is shown that the difference between the evocation and vocation is shown, and the tramps who they did not love the this work, but they need to do it for their survival, because they need it for their livelihood. But the poet was doing this work out of love and not out of need. So he think that he had a better claim. So that's it in this poem. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. If you have any suggestion, please write in the comment. Thank you very much.